Hey, welcome to This Explainer. If you're joining us today, I'm guessing you're someone who really values mental clarity. You want to know exactly how your own mind operates, right? Well, today we are tackling a topic in sleep psychology that honestly affects almost everyone, but is so rarely understood at a strictly mechanical level. We're looking at the science of nighttime overthinking. My goal here is to take the absolute best insights from our source material and break them all down for you, so you can truly grasp what the heck is happening in your head after dark. Okay, let's dive right in.
Why can't I sleep? It's loud, it's incredibly frustrating, and man, it is a universally felt question. Just picture the scene. You're lying in bed, staring blankly at the ceiling, feeling that all too familiar sense of betrayal. Your body is totally exhausted. You know for a fact you need the rest for tomorrow, yet your brain decides that this exact moment, literally the very second you need to power down, is the perfect time to fire up all its engines. We've all been that person, right? Just stuck in bed with our thoughts endlessly swirling. So why does our mind get so incredibly loud the very moment everything around us gets quiet?
Well, there's a pretty cruel irony to this whole thing. All day long, you're fine, you're completely functional, you're moving through your tasks, keeping it all together. But at night, your mind simply will not shut up. You go through your entire day without this overwhelming flood of anxiety, only to have it completely ambush you the second your head hits the pillow. Our sources actually identify this specific contrast as the absolute key to understanding the problem. It's not just that you're overthinking, it's the specific timing of the overthinking that gives us the real clue to solving it.
What's really fascinating here is what we call the cognitive clash. To figure out why you overthink at night, and importantly, why you don't overthink like this during the day, we have to look at the stark contrast between our waking hours and our sleeping hours. Our environment obviously changes, but more importantly, our cognitive inputs change. Let's break down exactly what happens during this biological shift. Think about it. During the day, your brain is incredibly busy, navigating a high-stimulation environment, work, conversations, constant, never-ending distractions. Your mind is rapidly jumping from one input to the next. You're answering emails, you're talking to colleagues, dodging traffic, listening to music. Your brain is fully occupied, just managing the immediate reality right in front of you. But then, nighttime hits. The emails stop, the conversations stop, the distractions just fade away. You are suddenly left in an absolute vacuum of external stimulation, completely enveloped in silence.
And our sources hit on a truly profound realization about this sudden shift. Silence gives your thoughts space to expand. I want you to really let that sink in for a second. During the day, your thoughts are compressed by all those distractions we just talked about. They're squeezed into the tiny margins of your busy schedule. But the second you introduce the profound silence of nighttime, that compression is completely released. The silence acts like a giant amplifier for your internal monologue. Without the external noise to drown it out, your internal voice suddenly has this massive empty room to echo inside of. Your thoughts aren't necessarily multiplying, They just finally have the space to expand and demand your full attention.
So what exactly is expanding in that silent space? Let's agitate the problem a little bit by looking at the exact brain mechanics happening here. When the noise of the day fades, your brain doesn't just cheerfully turn off. Instead, it pivots. It takes advantage of this newly available quiet time to begin processing the unresolved. It finally has the bandwidth to look back at the last 16 hours and say, okay, what did we miss? What haven't we dealt with yet?
Yeah, your brain uses this quiet time to finally process the day. Did you send that email? How did that big meeting go? What do you absolutely have to do tomorrow? But here is where the system completely breaks down and betrays you. It dumps the entire filing cabinet onto your bed all at once. It doesn't hand you one neat little file to process at a time. Every lingering task, every micro stressor, and suddenly, yep, that incredibly awkward conversation you had 3 years ago at a party, it all floods your conscious mind simultaneously. That massive mental traffic jam is exactly what creates that sudden feeling of overwhelming anxiety. It's not that your life is falling apart. It's literally just your brain trying to do a full day's worth of emotional and logistical processing at the exact second you are trying to relax.
But hey, there is good news here. Now that we actually understand the science of why this happens, that shift from daily distraction to nighttime silence, and the brain's really annoying habit of dumping unresolved thoughts all at once, we can actively intercept it. Our sources provide practical, highly effective ways to calm your mind when it matters most. We're going to walk through 3 specific, actionable steps to stop this nighttime mental spiraling before it starts.
To tackle this head-on, we have a 3-step roadmap to execute before your head ever hits the pillow. Step 1 is the brain dump. Step 2 is limiting stimulation, and Step 3 is the shutdown routine. By following this sequence, you're going to proactively address all those unresolved thoughts before the silence of the night forces them on you. Let's break down exactly how to execute that first one.
Step 1. The brain dump. The directive here is super simple but profoundly effective. Write everything on your mind before bed. Remember how we just learned that your brain dumps everything on you all at once because it's terrified you'll forget unresolved tasks? Well, you beat the brain at its own game by manually doing the dumping first. Grab a piece of paper or a dedicated notebook and physically write down every lingering thought. To-do lists, anxieties, random ideas, get them entirely out of your working memory and onto the page. You're essentially telling your brain, hey, you don't need to hold on to this anymore. It's safely stored right here. This clears out the mental workspace before the silence even begins.
Okay, so once you've successfully cleared the workspace, you have to protect it. And that brings us to step 2, limit stimulation. The source material is crystal clear on this. Avoid heavy content or social media right before sleep. Why? Because if you have just done a brain dump to clear out your unresolved thoughts, the absolute worst thing you can do is instantly feed the brain brand new things to process. Doom scrolling social media, reading heavy news, or watching really intense content. It all injects fresh, complicated inputs right back into your mind. You are essentially restocking the exact filing cabinet you just emptied. So guard your newly cleared mind by keeping the stimulation low.
And finally, we have step 3, create a shutdown routine. The absolute most important concept here is consistency. Consistency trains your mind to relax. You aren't just doing a random series of tasks, you are creating a biological trigger. By doing the exact same sequence of calming actions every single night, maybe it's dimming the lights, doing your brain dump, reading a light fiction book, you are building a deep neurological association. Over time, your brain recognizes this routine and automatically begins to lower its processing speed. You're proactively training your mind to transition from the busy day to the silent night, rather than just crashing into the silence at 60 miles an hour and hoping for the best.
Which leads us to a really powerful personal mantra. We're done for today. As the final step of your shutdown routine, our sources highly suggest explicitly telling your brain this exact phrase. I know it might sound a little silly at first, but verbalizing or consciously thinking this is a definitive, clear signal. It draws a hard boundary. It is the official closing bell for your mind. You are giving your brain explicit permission to stop processing the unresolved, officially clocking out so you can finally surrender to the silence without all that anxiety.
So I'll leave you with this final thought. What is that one unresolved thought keeping you awake tonight, and are you ready to actually write it down? You now know exactly why your brain brings these thoughts up in the quiet of the night, and you have the 3 exact steps to take back control of that process. Don't let the silence act as an amplifier for your anxiety anymore. Use the brain dump, limit your stimulation, and build that shutdown routine. If you want to keep mastering your mental clarity, bettering your sleep, and deeply understanding how your brain works so you can control it, make sure you subscribe. We'll be breaking down more fascinating insights in our next explainer. Until then, grab a pen, write it down, and tell your brain, we are done for today.